Surprise, motherfucker! What's up? This is your friendly neighborhood Venture Satanist. Uh, I'm not actually in a dungeon, although it kind of looks like that. Um, I'm just outside, and I've got a pretty good video for you today. I think it's about game design, and I've been making up rules and coming up with different game mechanics and optional rules and rule sets and tweaking things ever since I started in the hobby, way back in the early 80s. So 40 plus years of familiarity and game design and everything else. Um, and recently I've been coming up with um, a slightly different rule to what I talked about, I think, in the last video, that you roll in a d6 with a d20. And so I'm not going to get into the weeds with that, although I think I play tested it a second time with like a whole nother layer on top, and I realized a few things. I realized that what I had done was a little too much um, in play at the table, and I needed to cut back and to streamline, to overhaul it. Basically, what I did is I cut a bunch out, and then I made a few little changes. And but I've learned some stuff, and this isn't the totality of my philosophy on game design, but I've encapsulated or codified a few key points that sometimes I miss, and a lot of people probably don't think about when they're engaging in the design of rules and game mechanics. So anyway, a little cheat sheet. I'll just go over a few things. All right, let's see. Player buy-in. To some degree, you need player buy-in. You need the players to at least be open to what you've come up with, if not excited for it. Because when they're first trying something out, they're probably not going to be excited because they're just learning like how it's going to go and what it's like. But as you get into it, as they get more and more familiar, you want the players to buy in to the rules, especially if it's like a new optional rule or something you're playtesting or workshopping. And that one of the reasons or one of the ways of getting player buy-in is the benefits have to at least equal, if not outweigh, the detriments. So basically what that means is there's got to be something in it for the players. There's got to be more good than bad. If it cancels each other out, that can work, but generally you want more good for the players than bad. Even if you have equal amounts, although that can be fine, but if you have more bad than good, players aren't going to want to do that. They're not going to want to pursue it. They're not going to want to keep doing it, and if they don't enjoy it, if they don't want to do it, it's going to become a chore. And another good rule of thumb is you want to eliminate as many chores from the game table and the role-playing experience as possible. So you don't want this optional rule, whatever you're trying out, or even if you meet something permanent in your game. You don't want it to be a hassle or a detriment or a hindrance to the players or the player characters. So that's kind of the first thing, although basically a couple ideas meshed in there together. Next thing is simplify. You want this to be easy. Stand up. Oh, God damn it. I think I got bit by a mosquito. Motherfucker. So my back kept getting itchy sitting there in that corner. All right, I'm going to get out in the fresh air. And, yeah, anyway. So I won't put the sky behind me so it's not so washes me out or whatever. Have to put some soapy water on that when I get back inside. Mosquitoes love me. Probably because I'm so sweet. Yeah, simplify. It's got to be easy. However many steps you have, the more steps you have, the more complicated it gets. The more people have to think, the more they have to decide. The less they're going to want to interrupt the flow, interrupt the narrative, interrupt the game in order to do the thing or pursue the optional rule or engage with the game mechanics. So you want to minimize the number of steps. The simplest way is almost always the best. If you can find a way in the game mechanic that you're designing, assuming you've got an idea and you're falling in love with it, if you can simplify it, do it. The more you can simplify, just the better. This is a kind of a fairly important one. Does it reflect the campaign setting in some way? Is it symbolic or emblematic of the world, of the ethos of your campaign setting, what the whole thing is about? Immersion is good too, but yeah, if it reflects the game setting, the campaign setting, that's definitely preferable. GM benefits. So the first or the previous iteration of the game mechanics that I was thinking about that I tried to implement, it gave special benefits to the game master. Now I found that, upon reflection, a little bit problematic because the game master is basically the god of the game, and he doesn't need any of that stuff. It's kind of like with feats. In 3rd edition, the more feats you had, the more it felt like a player that didn't have those feats couldn't do that stuff, couldn't even try. But as we all know, in old school gaming, we want players to try different things, especially if the opportunity presents itself. We want players and their characters to try to do things out of the ordinary, besides, like, I swing with my sword, I miss, or I hit. Next, damage. Who's the next initiative order? And so with a game master, they already have so much power that they can really do anything. So giving them like a special, like, oh, well, now you can use this little benefit or token or metacurrency or whatever to try to like add something, it's both unnecessary and it detracts from the game master's overall authority. It's like giving a king like a little bag of tokens or something like that. It's just like, why? It doesn't make any sense. And it makes the king feel like, I don't know, less of an authority, less important, less powerful. And that was just dumb. Yeah, so we played. The blog post is up on my blog, Avengers Old School Gaming blog. Take a look at that. So I ran a one-shot with one of my players from my home game and one of my kids, because he really likes to play and doesn't get that many opportunities because his siblings, after trying it out a few sessions, didn't want to continue. So he got to play, and then we got to play, and I got to try out my game mechanic, and yeah, that's when I realized that I'd gone in a couple different wrong directions. So I've since changed that, and now it's ready for the real playtest. The last session was more of a dress rehearsal, and now it's like the actual play, and it's going to be implemented off Broadway at VentureCon. And if it makes it there, maybe it'll evolve throughout the weekend. Then it's ready for me to put out as a little PDF for people if they want it. Yeah, but hopefully my little video on game design will help you out, because I think those are valuable lessons that it's taken me, 40 plus years to learn, and knowing is half the battle. Okay, have a good one.